Hi everybody, welcome back to My Hips Don't Lie with Debora Utley. I am on recovery day 3, which many of my friends out there in social media land warned me that would be the worst day. It is in fact the worst day. The pain is really kind of sinking in, and I'm taking my meds and doing everything that I'm supposed to do, but it still hurts quite a bit. But still, on a positive, my back pain, which was way worse than my hip pain, but of course caused by my hip, is completely gone right now. So I don't know if it's the meds. I don't know what it is. But that's a really positive, awesome thing. So I am here starting hour 3 on my CPM machine to keep moving my hip. So this is the time that, I thought I would be spending with you guys whenever I'm down here on the floor. So today I thought I would talk a little bit more about self-care that I was talking about in a previous video. As I said, pre-COVID, my self-care game was fairly ridiculous. I would pretty much do anything and everything I could to make sure my appearance was what society deemed acceptable. And post-COVID, I've had to shed, I should say, some of those layers and leave them behind, simply because it's not really possible to maintain all of those things with salons being closed and the close contact and with COVID. You have to be so much more careful. So as I said, the only thing I have maintained, and carefully so, is getting my hair done. But I used to do pretty much everything. Toenails, fingernails. I would get everything waxed, right? I would get Botox. It was great. I had lash extensions, which was, by the way, I may have to start that again. One of the greatest things in the land are eyelash extensions. I hate mascara. I hate it. And I hate it when it looks anything like not perfect. So if it's clumpy or it starts to get into the corner of your eye, ladies, like, it's the grossest thing ever. And so with lash extensions, I would go in every 3 weeks. I would lay on a bed for an hour and pay somebody to make me beautiful. And I just would tell everybody, you know what I really was paying for was a nap in a beautiful, quiet place. And I just happened to wake up with beautiful eyelashes. So I do really, that's the next thing that I really miss. But I don't know. One of the things that I was thinking about as COVID began, when we were in March, obviously I had to wait till the nail polish came off of my nails and my toes, and I had to wait for the last eyelash to fall out, and started to notice my forehead wrinkles coming back, and took out my hair extensions, and kind of thought for a while about why I found all of this stuff so necessary. Oh, not to mention doing everything to stay slim and in shape, right? So not eating every single thing that I wanted to, and working out like a crazy person. All of these things, right, that we do, especially as women, are just, I think, reflections of our self-worth. So I wanted to share a little bit about that with you today. When I talked to my therapist several years ago, we were kind of talking about why my self-care was so crazy. And so we did this exercise where she said, okay, let's say, okay, you don't get your nails done. Let's say your nails don't look good. Then what? And I was like, well, I probably wouldn't feel very put together or feel good about myself. She says, okay, what happens if you don't feel good about yourself? Well, I might, not be very fun to be around. I might not be very nice. And she says, okay, so what? You're not very nice. Well, then people may not want to spend time with me or be around me. We went through this exercise and we got to all the way to, from me not getting a manicure, I lost my house, I lost my husband, I lost my family, and I was living on the street. That's like how deeply ingrained this kind of self-care was in me. And that if I looked anything less than perfect or put together, then I really wasn't worthy. And that's a really heady thing to think about. So for me, all of this self-care is really bullshit, right? It's just my external shell. But it goes all the way back to when I was a little girl. I never knew my real father, even though I carry his name, which is so weird to me. I don't know why I've clung so tightly to it, but I didn't change my name when I got married, and because Utley it's who I am. That's who I am. So I didn't really get on board with changing my last name, so I didn't. Plus, I'd been a teacher for like a decade, and you're Miss Utley, and I really that's all I could do, right? So then, I never knew my dad. He and my mom divorced when I was an infant, and we moved in with my grandma. And then my mother remarried when I was about 3. So my mother remarried an uneducated foundry worker. He couldn't read, he couldn't write, so he was illiterate. My mom never went to college. I do think she graduated high school, but that was really the extent of her education. And so my stepfather was a short but very powerful and stocky foundry worker. He did manual labor all day long. So we were quite poor. When they first got married, we lived in an apartment. And it happened to be right kitty corner across the street from my what would be my grade school. And it was dark in there and just dank. And we didn't even have a door on the bathroom. So you would come up the stairs and you would be in the master bedroom when you came up the stairs. And then my bedroom was off to the side, and then we had a family room over here. But back this way, if you come in and turn right, you would take a hard right down a hallway. And it was dark. I don't even remember there being light back there. I think there was a light above the toilet with like a pull string. So you'd walk into this hallway and there's the shower, and then you'd walk a little further, tiny little room, and there was the bathroom. But no door anywhere in the house, actually. I didn't have a door on my bedroom. Now that I think about it, there wasn't a door anywhere except the door at the bottom of the stairs. I think there was a door at the top of the stairs where we actually entered the apartment. Anyway, I'm making a long story really long. We were poor. We had nothing. I always ate. And then I always had gifts and things from my grandma, and then of course my aunt and uncle. But other than that, no. And I was often told that I was a homely little girl. I had, just brown hair that was cut like a boy, because that was cheapest and easiest. So I never had long hair as a little girl, and I craved it so badly. All of my friends at my grade school had this beautiful long hair, and then there was me looking like a boy. And I always joke, my family and we joke about it all the time. I talk about it, but all I wanted as a young girl was a pair of Lee jeans and Nike tennis shoes. It's all I wanted, because all of my things came from Kmart. So I had Wranglers and McGregor's. I don't know if any of you remember those, but my tennis shoes were McGregor's, right? So, but I was just often told that I was not cute. And so I remember when I was at my grandma's, and I love TV, I love movie stars, I love all of that stuff, right? I'm just fascinated by them. And so we would watch TV, and I would just get so into some of these characters and their lives, and I would observe and notice, like, okay, they're considered beautiful. So what what makes them beautiful. And that's all I wanted to be. It's all I heard I wasn't, and it's all I wanted to be. So number one, they were rich. The more money you have, the easier it is to be pretty, right? So they were rich. Their houses were always spit spot clean, right? Everything in its place. Everything looked beautiful. They were surrounded by beautiful things. They had long hair, mostly blonde, and they were thin, right? Everybody on TV was thin. So these were the things that then were put into my psyche that, okay, if I want to be beautiful, I need to be all of these things. And notice that none of those descriptors were about anything on the inside. I didn't notice if they were kind. I didn't notice if they were mean. I didn't notice any of that. All I noticed was the outside, because that's what I thought made somebody beautiful. I thought it was everything on the outside. So in my adult life, I have done everything to feel that worth. And for me, it was all external. If I were thin, I would be loved. If I were smart and educated, I would be loved. So I went to college. I have 2 master's degrees. I'm about tapped out with getting as smart as I can be. But yeah, I'm educated. I stay fit. So if I stay fit and thin, I'll be accepted and I'll be loved. So if my makeup is right? So those were, for a very long part of my life, a very, very deep into my adulthood, that's what was important to me, was how I looked on the outside. And strangely, I've said this to my therapist before, and I don't know if any of you can sympathize with this or empathize with this. It was more important to me that a perfect stranger, if they saw me on the street, they would think I was someone important than what the people actually close to me thought of me. Like when I say those words out loud, it's so ridiculous, right? But it was so deep for me. And it's still something that I am trying to manage. But I think all of that self-care stuff really comes from a lack of self-worth. And on my more rational days, I can talk myself out of that, right? I know I'm worthy. I am loved. I am healthy. I am, all of those things. I have everything that I could ever want. But on some days it creeps in and I feel ugly on the outside. And no amount of beautiful hair extensions or eyelashes or Botox will fix that image that I have for myself. And that's really a painful thing. But, it's something that I think a lot of us, especially women, a lot of us girls, we're so brought up with the idea of what we have to look like. And it's like a full-time job, right? Maintaining all of those things, it's a full-time job. So in March, when COVID came, it was time to take out my hair extensions. And fun fact, I'm still going to say this and to my grave, and I will probably have whoever does my eulogy mention this. But I'm telling you right now, I created hair extensions way back in, I would say, 1979. So if they existed in 1979, then I didn't invent them. But if they didn't exist then, I totally invented them. So what I would do was, of course, I had my short, ugly hair. And my grandma Leahy was always working on a project. And she always had yarn, or she was doing a latch hook rug. Y'all remember latch hook rugs? So I would take yellow yarn, because blonde, right? And I would have it in long strips. And I would put a barrette at the top of the yarn. And then I would braid it. And then I would fasten it. And then I would barrette my yarn braids to my hair. Hair extensions, y'all. If I would have been smart and patented that, man alive, instead of costing an arm and a leg to get my extensions done, I could have owned all the extensions in the world. So anyway, I am going to take credit for it. I just didn't copyright it like a fool. I won't make that mistake again. But anyway, So my hair extensions were at the end. So in March, I took them out. And I was trying to talk myself into maybe not ever putting them back in again. Like, why is my natural state, which you are, by the way, seeing in these videos, except for my hair, no makeup, no lashes. I'm not using a filter. I just have my light on, because I think that's important, because it's one of the main things that I'm struggling with. So I think I have to kind of like put it out there and break that barrier and just say, hey, this is me. And I have a feeling that even without all of that armor, I'll still be loved and I'm still worthy. So I kind of played around with the idea of not doing it again. I'm not getting Botox. I'm not going to get my lashes. I'm going to drop all of that armor, because that's what it is, right? It's our shield to protect us from getting hurt, right? To protect us from somebody calling us ugly, or somebody calling us dumb, or any of the things that we fear we are. When someone points them out to us, it's devastating. So all of that stuff is just our armor. So I wanted to find my bravery and be able to go out in the world without it. So I know that I'm able to now. It's not comfortable still. But I go to the grocery store without makeup on all the time, and a hat, and like, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really now doing some of those things, not because I need to, but because I want to. Because you know what? I like having long hair. My hair won't grow that long. So you know what? I'm gonna throw some money at it so I can have long hair. It looks great. I'm gonna put makeup on when I have important things, because I feel better about myself when I do. I'm gonna continue to eat well and work out, because I feel better when I'm light. I've talked about this with some other people. One of my values is freedom. I want to be free in all of its ways. I want to be able to run and jump and hop on a roller coaster and outrun a wolf if I'm on the path and he chases me on a walk. Okay, well, that's not going to happen, but that was a bad example. Don't forget, I'm still on pain meds, so not super coherent, but still. I want to be able to get on an airplane and not be a bother to the person next to me. I want to smell good. I want to wear beautiful shoes. Not because now I can and I need to prove it to the world, but because those things make me feel good. And that's ultimately where we need to get to be. It has to be for us, right? I get my hair done for me because it makes me feel great. I wear nice clothes with great shoes because it makes me feel great. It makes me feel confident. It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel like I'm somebody. So I implore you, all of you out there that might be struggling with the same thing, eating disorders, body dysmorphia. It's so painful and it's so unnecessary, right? We are all beautiful, and really our beauty has nothing to do with that outer shell. It's about our insides. So I know for me, that's something I've really been addressing is to be beautiful on the inside, to be kind, to be considerate of others, to be fun to be around, to be giving and generous and not selfish, because that's something that I battle as well. So I'm going to continue to work there. And I hope that you will continue to join me here at My Hips Don't Lie as I kind of talk through some of these things that at least I know I'm dealing with. But I know if I'm dealing with them, there are lots of you out there that are the same. So this little hip surgery is really just the catalyst for me to put myself out there and put hopefully some beauty and experience and wisdom from my experience out there for those of you that are my peers, for younger girls that are out there. Stop wasting time thinking you are too fat, because you're not. And by the time you get to my age, you're going to look back and exactly where you are now, you're going to wish that you were the weight you are today, that weight that you think isn't good enough. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you to stop right now. So anyway, this video got a little long today, so you might want to watch it in chunks, because if I saw a video that was 20 minutes long, I would probably go, oh, no, I don't have time for that today. But try to sneak it in if you can. And I will try to come back here tomorrow. I think I might have different clothes on tomorrow. I plan on taking my first shower tomorrow, so wish me luck on that. And I'll let you know how it goes. But thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me share. Please follow my YouTube, follow my social media, and please send me comments, send me questions. I would love to have one-on-one conversations with any of you out there. Right now, I think the people that are watching these are just my friends and just people in my life. It may just be my family. But for those of you that are strangers out there, I'd love it if we could become friends instead and open up this dialogue. So come back to My Hips Don't Lie with Debora Utley tomorrow, and we'll talk some more. All right, all my love to you.